Within a single century, a new power expanded out of the steppe and across Eurasia. It eventually controlled 9 million square miles, roughly 16% of the Earth's landmass, making it the largest contiguous empire in history. The expansion didn't begin with a dynasty. It began with an outcast 9-year-old named Temujin. After his father was poisoned by rivals, his own tribe abandoned his family to survive the Mongolian winter on roots and wild fruit. To stay alive, Temujin had to prioritize results over tradition. He began gathering a following that didn't care about noble bloodlines or tribal history, rewarding only capability and the will to fight. This environment of extreme scarcity produced a military culture that rewarded performance above all else, turning these survivors into a disciplined force that ignored the traditional limits of tribal warfare. In Europe, the longbow was the standard medieval weapon carved from a single piece of wood. The Mongol composite bow, however, was a sophisticated assembly of animal horn, sinew, and wood, glued and cured for over a year to maximize tension. This chart compares the efficiency of the two designs. While an English longbow peaked at around 100 joules of stored energy, the Mongol bow reached 200 joules. It stored double the energy at nearly half the physical size. Because it was compact, a rider could fire with devastating kinetic energy while at a full gallop. The Mongol bow achieved an energy density of up to 500 joules per kilogram, more than double the efficiency of its wooden counterparts. Firepower was matched by mobility. Every Mongol warrior traveled with a personal rotation of 3 to 5 horses, allowing the army to change mounts when one grew tired. This logistical system allowed them to cross continents so rapidly they frequently arrived at city gates before the defenders even knew an army was approaching. By combining these advantages in energy storage and endurance, the Mongols created a physical disparity that overwhelmed standard medieval formations. Their mastery of movement enabled the feigned retreat. Light cavalry would engage an enemy and then fake a panic, pulling back for days to lure heavily armored troops into a dispersed, exhausted line. Once the enemy formation broke, the Mongols would circle back, surrounding the scattered soldiers in a coordinated pincer movement. For cities behind stone walls, the choice was binary: surrender immediately or face complete destruction. These massacres were calculated. By allowing a few survivors to flee, the Mongols ensured that news of their ferocity reached the next city, encouraging future targets to submit without a fight. When they encountered advanced fortifications, they integrated the siege technology and gunpowder specialists of the Chinese and Persian armies they had already conquered, using the enemy's own engineering to breach their walls. The Mongol approach succeeded through this constant adaptability, utilizing psychological pressure and absorbing any technology that made them more lethal. Ruling 9 million square miles required a logistical infrastructure that could match the speed of the army. They established the Yam system, a network of relay stations that allowed messages to cross the continent in weeks. Access to this network was strictly controlled through passports called garage. These metal tablets identified the rank of administrators and couriers, ensuring they had the fresh horses and resources needed to maintain the empire's communication lines. This absolute control created a byproduct called the Pax Mongolica. By enforcing religious freedom and protecting trade routes like the Silk Road, the empire maximized the exchange of goods and ideas across Eurasia. Eventually, the empire's scale became its undoing. Following a series of succession crises and geographic overextension, the central authority collapsed, and the territory permanently fractured into 4 competing regional khanates. While the empire itself disintegrated, its efficiency had already dismantled the isolation of the Old World, leaving behind a unified network that permanently connected East and West.